For the first timer, Google Sheets can be scary. Or maybe you just don't know where to begin. For you, here's a full beginner tutorial in an easy question and answer format. Let's get started.
What is a Google Sheet spreadsheet? A spreadsheet is a digital tool used for organizing, analyzing, and storing data in a tabular format. It is composed of rows and columns that intersect to form cells, which can hold various types of information such as numbers, text, and formulas. Staring at Google Sheets all day can be boring, but we like to hike. So as we continue, I hope you don't mind if we layer in some views hiking Shenandoah National Park while we discuss how many rows and columns are in Google Sheets. Rows run horizontally and are numbered, while columns run vertically and are labeled with letters. When you first open a Google Sheet, you are offered 1,000 rows, but there are only 26 columns lettered A to Z. But you can add rows and columns to your Google Sheets. Currently, you can have 18,278 columns. The last column would be titled ZZZ, but you can have many more rows. In fact, rows are not the limit of Google Sheets. In theory, you can have up to 10 million rows, but we'll give you more details about that in the next question. What is a cell in Google Sheets? The intersection of a row and a column forms a cell, which is the basic unit of a spreadsheet. Each cell has a unique address, like A1 or B2, making it easy to reference in calculations or formulas. The cell is the basic building block of all Google Sheets and is where you can enter letters, words, numbers, and formulas into Google Sheets. In fact, Google Sheets are limited to the number of cells on a worksheet. Each worksheet can have up to 10 million cells. So if you use the 26 columns that are available when you open a Google Sheet, you can have up to 384,615 rows. Okay, let's get on with the next question. Can you have multiple worksheets in Google Sheets? Google Sheets has the ability to include multiple worksheets, with each worksheet being a single tab or page within a larger file known as a workbook. The Google Sheets workbook can contain up to 200 worksheets, allowing users to manage and organize different sets of data in a single file. With these worksheets, users can enter and manipulate various data types, including text for labels and descriptions, numbers for quantitative information, dates, and formulas to perform automatic calculations. While we show you views from Bear Fence Rock Scramble, let's dive into the next question. What can I use Google Sheets for? The primary purpose of a spreadsheet is to organize and analyze data efficiently. For example, a user can list categories of data in rows and columns, and then use spreadsheet tools to sort, filter, or apply formulas to perform calculations. Spreadsheets are particularly useful for automating repetitive tasks, such as adding a column of numbers, which can be done using a simple formula like sum. Additionally, Google Sheets enable collaboration, allowing multiple users to work on the same file in real time, making spreadsheets a great choice for shared projects. Google Sheets has a wide range of practical applications in daily life and business. They can be used for budgeting, where users can track income and expenses by organizing categories in columns and entering corresponding values in rows. For inventory management, spreadsheets allow users to track product quantities, prices, and calculate total inventory value automatically. In project planning, a simple table can be used to monitor tasks, deadlines, and progress, ensuring everything stays on track. Personal finance is another common application where individuals can use spreadsheets to manage their savings, investments, and debt over time. What are the top 3 reasons you want to use Google Sheets? Let us know by joining the conversation in the comments, and we can create a video sharing with you a way to create a template for your use. Now that we know the building blocks of Google Sheets and some examples of how to use it, let's move on and answer the question, how do I open Google Sheets and what will I first see? On a computer, open a worksheet by accessing the Google Sheets application. There are 2 primary ways to do this, but they both need an active Google account. If you need a Google account, read our video description for a resource to help you get one after this video. But after you get your Google account and are logged in, go to sheets.google.com. You'll be directed to the Google Sheets homepage. From here, you can create a new spreadsheet by clicking on the blank template or select from any of the pre-made templates that Google provides. Another way to access Google Sheets is through Google Drive. Visit drive.google.com, click the New button on the left side, and then select Google Sheets from the drop-down menu. But is Google Sheets available on mobile devices? Google Sheets is available on mobile devices through the Google Sheets app, which is available for both iOS and Android. You can download it from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. The app allows you to view, edit, and create spreadsheets on the go, and it syncs with your Google account, so your files are always up to date across all your devices. While the mobile version offers many features of the desktop version, some advanced functions might be limited. However, it's still a convenient tool for working with spreadsheets when you're away from your computer and great for collaborating with people on the go. While we hike Rose River Falls Trail, the next Google Sheets question to unpack is, what are the different parts of Google Sheets? Once you have opened Google Sheets, you'll see a blank grid with various elements to help you create and manage your spreadsheet. Here's a breakdown of the key parts of Google Sheets. At the top of the screen, you'll find the title of your spreadsheet. By default, it's labeled as Untitled Spreadsheet. You can click on the title to rename it to something more descriptive. I'll name this Google Sheet Inventory. Now you will see that you can star the file, move the file, or view the document status. Below the title bar is the menu bar, which contains options like File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Data, Tools, Extensions, and Help. Each menu has drop-down options that give you access to different tools and features such as saving your spreadsheet, adding charts, or changing formatting options. Each of these menus we'll discuss in other videos, but when we open the File menu, you can see ways to make a new workbook, open another Google Sheets, import data, and make a copy of the current file. The next section allows you to share, email, and download the Google Sheet. The third section helps you rename, move, add a shortcut, and delete the file. Finishing at the bottom of the File menu are File Details, Settings, and Print. The Editing menu provides the means to undo and redo recent changes to the Google Sheet, cut, copy, paste, delete, and find and replace. The View menu offers different ways to see the worksheet while you work on it. The Insert menu allows you to insert cells, rows, columns, and sheets, as well as other sophisticated Google Sheets elements. The Format menu includes options to format data in the cells and more advanced features. And the Data menu provides more advanced ways to create meaningful information in Google Sheets. Directly below the menu bar is the Toolbar, which provides quick access to commonly used functions. You'll find buttons for Undo, Redo, Print, Font Selection, Formatting text, like bold, italic, font size, etc., changing cell background colors, aligning text, adding borders, and inserting functions like Sum or Average. The toolbar is a fast way to make changes without navigating through the menus above. Just below the toolbar is the Formula bar, where you can see and edit the contents of the currently selected cell. If you are entering a formula, for example, equals sum, open parentheses A1 to A10, you'll type it in here. It's useful for reviewing formulas or lengthy text without having to open the cell directly. Next is the grid with columns, rows, and cells. But below the grid are sheet tabs. At the bottom of the page, you'll find the sheet tabs. A workbook can contain multiple sheets, and the tabs allow you to switch between them. You can rename, add, or delete sheets using the small drop-down arrow next to each tab. This is especially helpful when organizing data across different sections of a project, such as having a separate sheet for each month or department. On the top right corner of the screen is the Share button. This allows you to invite others to view or edit your sheet. You can control the level of access, view only, comment, or full editing rights, and share via email or a direct link. How do I navigate in a Google Sheets workbook? Navigating in Google Sheets is similar to Excel and other general software, but with some distinct features tailored to its online collaborative nature. A Google Sheets file is a workbook that contains one or more worksheets or sheets. Each worksheet consists of a grid of cells organized into rows and columns where you enter data, formulas, and perform calculations. Rows are labeled with numbers, 1, 2, 3, as you see on the left. Columns are labeled with letters A, B, C, as you see along the top. The intersection of a row and a column forms a cell, and each cell has an address, like A1, column A, row 1, which you use for data entry and formulas. So let's practice a little bit. We've built this practice sheet for you to work along with us. There is a link in the video description where you can get a copy before we continue. In the practice sheet, use your mouse and move your cursor and select different cells in the worksheet like this. But how do I navigate without the mouse in Google Sheets? Using the arrow keys, you can navigate left, right, up, and down in the sheet. If you hit the Enter key, it activates the edit of the cell. And if you hit Enter a second time, you'll move down the worksheet one cell. But if you hold the Shift key and press Enter, you will go up the worksheet one cell. The Tab key will move you to the right, but if you hold Shift and press the Tab key, you can move left. But did you know that the Enter key does something different after you have used the Tab key? I'm going to fill in 1 in cell B2, press Tab, type in 2 in cell C2, press Tab, type in 3 in cell D2, and then press Enter. What happened? I returned to cell B3 to start typing in the next row. But let's enter 1 in cell B5, press Tab, type 2 in cell C5, press Tab, type 3 in cell D5, and hold the Shift key and press Enter. What happened? I returned back to cell B4, moving one row above to enter more data. How can I navigate quickly in a table of data? Here in this example, we have a table of inventory. You can see the part number description, cost, quantity, and inventory balance. But this table could be pages long and have way more columns based on your business. So if you want to move quickly to the bottom of the table from cell B7, hold the Control key and press the down arrow. Likewise, if you use the Control key and press the right arrow, you'll move to F11 or the right side of the table. Using the Control key and the up and left arrow, we'll continue moving along the edge of the table. But you can use Control and the arrows in the middle of the table too, like this. This is good, but how can I navigate quickly around the worksheet? There are a few ways to navigate around the worksheet. With the Control key, we can quickly move. Right now, hold the Control key and press the Home key. This shortcut command will always return you to cell A1. But if you want to get to the end of the worksheet, hold the Control key and press the End key. Now we are on cell Z1000. Let's move left by holding the Control key and pressing the left arrow, and up, holding the Control key and pressing the up arrow. You can see these commands can help you move through the worksheet fast. But there are two other ways to move quickly in a worksheet. The page up and page down keys will move you up and down the worksheet, but if you hold the Alt key and press page down, you will move right one screen. And by holding the Alt key and pressing page up, you will move left one screen. But there is one more way to move around Google Sheets. On the bottom and right side of the sheet are scroll bars. Using the scroll bars, you can move up and down, left and right to view the page. How do I select cells and ranges in Google Sheets? Now that we know how to move around, let's get into cells. Right now, you have a cell selected. When you open a sheet, it will always be A1. To select another cell, use your mouse to activate a new cell by pointing and clicking on the new cell you want to activate. You can also use the arrow keys to activate different cells. But as you work, you'll need to select other cells or ranges of cells or maybe selections of cells that are not adjacent to each other. To select a range of cells, use your mouse to click on the first cell, and while holding the click, drag your cursor to another cell to select a range of cells. Another way you can select a range of cells is to select the first cell again, but now press and hold the Shift key while using the arrow keys to expand your range. Using the mouse again, you can click on a cell and then hold the Shift key and click on another cell to expand the range. But there is one more way to select cells, using your mouse click on a cell. Now holding the Control key, click on other cells and ranges in your worksheet. This allows you to select many cells, but you can also deselect holding the Control key and clicking on active cells to deselect that cell. But how do you select every cell in the Google Sheet? To select every cell in a Google Sheet, there are two ways. You can either press and hold the Control key and press A, or you can click on the rectangle in the upper left-hand corner between the A and 1. Next up, we will show how to select columns and rows and later discuss general navigation of sheets. So, how do I select a column in Google Sheets? To highlight a column in Google Sheets, there are two methods. The easiest method is to use your mouse and click on the column header. But you can also select a cell in the column you want to highlight and press the Control key plus the spacebar. Once you have the column selected, you can click the arrow to the left of the letter for additional options. Here, you can see that you can cut, copy, paste, and paste special. But you can also insert and delete the column and clear contents in the column. You can also hide the column, create a filter, sort using the column, and format the column. Rows are next, but now, how do I select multiple columns in Google Sheets? To select multiple columns in Google Sheets, select the first column with your mouse, and then while still holding the left click, drag your mouse left or right over other columns. But if you want to use the keyboard, select the column and then press the Shift key, and then use your arrows left and right to select additional columns. With multiple columns selected, you can use the drop-down arrow to open the column menu to cut, copy, paste, and paste special. But you can also insert and delete the columns and clear contents in the columns. You can also hide the columns, create a filter, sort using the column, and format the columns. How do I select a row in Google Sheets? There are two easy ways to select a row in Google Sheets. One way is to click on the row header on the left with your mouse. You can also select a cell in the row you want and press the Shift key plus the spacebar. If you right-click on the row, you can cut, copy, paste, insert and delete rows, clear contents, filter and sort based on the row. But similar to columns, you can use your mouse to select multiple rows by clicking on the row number, then while holding the click, drag up or down to select more rows. You can also select a row, press and hold the Shift key, and use the up and down arrows to select more rows. Here, while the rows are selected, right-click the mouse to open up the Cut, Copy, Paste, Insert and Delete Rows, Clear Contents, Filter, and Sort Options menu. Now that we know more about rows and columns, how do I switch between worksheets and Google Sheets? Google Sheets can have multiple pages or worksheets. To add a worksheet, click the plus sign in the lower left-hand corner. Now, with multiple sheets, you can click the sheets to move to the different sheets. With a drop-down arrow on the Sheet tab, you can duplicate the sheet, copy the sheet to a new or existing Google Sheets, rename, change the tab color, protect the sheet from modifications, hide the sheet, view comments, move right or move left. But did you know there was one other weird way to move around Google Sheets? How do I use the name box to move around Google Sheets? The name box is left of the formula bar in the top left corner. Right now it is showing the current selected cell, but if you type in another cell, your active cell will change to the new location. But you can also select rows this way. Let's type in 15:21 and press enter. Now those rows are selected. You can also do this with columns. Type in B:D and press enter. Now columns are selected. But you can also name a range. Highlight the quantity section E7:E11. Now in the named range, type in QTY. Now select C7:C11. In the named range, type in part, PART. Now click to another cell. Now click on the arrow in the named range box and notice we now have two named ranges, part and quantity. If you select part, the part named range will become active. Likewise, if you select QTY, the quantity named range will become active. We'll discuss more about named ranges later, but the most popular formula to use in Google Sheets is the sum function. There are a few ways to add in Google Sheets, but adding in the simplest way isn't the best approach. You could type into a cell equals A2 plus A3 plus A4 like this to get 6, but there is a better way. What is the formula for sum in Google Sheets? The other way you can add values is with the sum function, and if you do equals, Google Sheets will auto-populate with the sum function when there is a range of numbers adjacent. But in order to find the sum, you could also go up here to the Insert menu, then Function, and Sum is the very first one because it's the most popular formula in Google Sheets. But we'll go back to the cell and enter equals, and again the equal sum open parentheses close parentheses shows up. So in order to learn more about it from Google, you can use the drop-down and read it here in the About. So the sum function returns the series of numbers and or cells, then value 1 is the first number or range to add together. So now that we know a little about the formula, how do I do a sum in Google Sheets? In order to sum and use this formula, I'm going to go up here again to Insert Function, so you can see this again, and I'm going to just sum A2 to A4. So I can type it in, and then add a close parentheses, and I can just hit enter, and again 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. The other way I can do it is just type equals sum, and it'll actually autocomplete for me A2 to A12. And if I want to accept it, I can do tab, or I can use the arrows up and down to navigate. But I want to use sum A2 to A12, and the formula returns 66. And here's my formula, equals sum open parentheses A2 colon A12 close parentheses. How do I use the sum function to sum individual cells? There's another way to use sum, and that is to use commas, so I can type in equals sum open parentheses, and I use commas to separate my values. So if I wanted to sum C2, C3, and C4, I would enter equals sum C2, comma C3, comma C4, close parentheses. Hit enter, and I'll end up with 60 again. 10 plus 20 plus 30 equals 60. But we could sum the whole column this way by adding commas and cells to return 660. But there is an easier way. We could just enter equals sum open parentheses C2 colon C12 close parentheses and get the same result. But again, use commas to separate cells or ranges you want to add together. Now that we have the foundation, we're going to get more complex. How can we sum ranges of cells and individual cells together in Google Sheets? We can sum with a range and individual cells with the sum function. So if we've got some numbers in various areas of our sheet, we can start with range E2 colon E4, and then we can come down here and maybe I just want to add the 15 and the 19. Then we can get a total of 43 that way. So I'm going to sum E2 to E4, 1, 3, and 5, and then E9, which would be 15, and E11, which would be 19, separated by commas to equal 43. So using the sum feature like that, I can grab multiple numbers from the sheet and they don't have to be near each other. Okay, as we continue, how do I sum multiple ranges in Google Sheets? To sum multiple ranges, we can open up our formula, equals sum, open parentheses, and I can highlight this range, and then I can use the comma and I can highlight another range and close parentheses. So now I'm able to sum a lot of numbers in two separate ranges and total 297. But you could also again insert, function, sum, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, and hit enter. And again, the number shows up here. It's 225. How do I create a sum box in Google Sheets? What a lot of people don't know, because we sum columns and rows so often, is that you can actually sum a rectangle. So that's why I have this down here. Type in equals sum, open parentheses, and you can add all of these and get the sum of that total, 161. Not very often do people sum rectangles, but it is something you can do with a sum function that you need to keep in mind because it does have value as you work with Google Sheets. We've got more that you may not have thought of yet, but learning what formulas can do at this level is imperative to your ability to use Google Sheets. If you want to learn Google Sheets from us, subscribe to our channel so that when you search for Google Sheets on YouTube, our videos come up at the top of your search results. Okay, back to the list, and how do you make a formula negative in Google Sheets? Did you know that not only can you sum for a positive result, but you can also sum for a negative result? So here, if you type equals, then minus, sum, open parentheses, you can do your range again. Let's do comma, just to get complex. You can close parentheses here, you'll end up with a negative 84.
Ever been lost in Google Sheets, wondering where to find the tools or answers you need where YouTube and Google Search are lacking? You're not alone. But what if I told you there's a secret weapon built right into Google Sheets to solve almost any problem and will save you days? To discover the time-saving features of the Google Sheets help menu to increase productivity, let's go through some questions to find our answers while we switch between working through Google Sheets and walk and talk in Glacier National Park. Because most people have been betrayed by help menus, you may need to know, where is the help menu in Google Sheets? The help menu is located at the very top of your Google Sheets window in the toolbar. If you're familiar with menus like File, Edit, or View, you'll see Help is the last option on the right side right next to Extensions. Clicking on it opens up several useful options, like the ability to search for general help, access training resources, see the list of functions, or view keyboard shortcuts. It's like your personal assistant for Sheets, always available to guide you when you're stuck or looking for ways to work smarter. Now that we know where the help menu is, let's detail these features individually with the following questions. How do I search for features or functions using the help menu? Have you ever struggled with finding a particular menu item in Google Sheets? For example, where is the button to insert a checkbox? The search bar in the help menu is a lifesaver when you're not sure where a specific feature is located. Or if you don't even know if a feature is available in Google Sheets but you want to check it out and see whether or not it is. When you open the menu and start typing a keyword like freeze rows or conditional formatting, you'll get a drop-down list of relevant options. You can save so much time using this feature. Clicking on one will either highlight where the feature is in the interface or take you directly to it. It's a great tool for discovering features you didn't know existed or forgot how to find. Let's practice that a little. Right now, my number in cell C4 is not formatted. Say you want to format the number, but don't know where to look in the menus. I can type format into search and get a list of options. Here you can see number format comes up. When I select that option, the number is formatted with a comma and 2 decimal places. Next, let's freeze rows. I'm going to highlight row 5 and then in the search menu type in freeze rows. Here you can see the option to freeze up to current row 5. When I select that option, freeze rows is activated on the sheet. Now that we've had some introduction to the search option, let's move down the list and ask, what does the Sheets Help option in the Help menu do? The Sheets Help option in Google Sheets is like having a built-in guide to everything you need to know about using Sheets. It connects you to Google's official support resources where you can find step-by-step guides, explanations for functions like VLOOKUP and query, and solutions to common problems, like fixing formulas that aren't working. Whether you're just starting out or diving into advanced features like macros or conditional formatting, the Sheets Help option has your back. It's a super handy tool to learn, troubleshoot, and level up your Google Sheets skills, all without leaving your spreadsheet. But if we dig deeper, we'll notice that the help menu comes up with popular help resources first. These topics are like frequently asked questions. But if you don't find your topic here, you can use the search help by typing in what you are trying to do and get more topics catered to your request. Here I'm going to ask, how do I change the alignment of a number in a cell? The first topic is edit and format a spreadsheet. But that doesn't sound right because I want to format a cell. But as I read down the list, I don't see anything else that is more appropriate. This is why many people abandon help and give up and confirm why it's the last in the menu bar. But let's try the first topic and see what it has for us. Wow, here you will see the first header is edit data in a cell. As we read through the help, it directs us to use the options in the toolbar at the top. Reading further down the bulleted list, we find change horizontal text alignment and change vertical text alignment. Now going back to our Google Sheet, the menu is here, and as we work from left to right, we discover that the alignment buttons are in the middle of the screen. Using those buttons, we can align the number as we wish. Okay, let's get on with the next question. What does the training option in the help menu do? The training option connects you to Google's official learning resources, including step-by-step guides, videos, and example-based tutorials. Training is one productivity resource to use when everything else might be failing you. These are tailored to different skill levels, so whether you're just starting with Google Sheets or diving into advanced topics like macros, there's something for everyone. Think of it as a mini course library designed to help you master Sheets at your own pace. Let's take a quick look and see what we can discover. Here, I am going to click Help, Training, which will take us to support.google.com, and you can see a page dedicated to Google Sheets. At the top of the page, you will see basic learning to jumpstart your education. But down below, you will see more intermediate and advanced resources to extend your skills. Let's click on Sheets, Quick Start Guides, then get started with Google Sheets, and see what there is to offer. Here, you will see Google quickly tries to sell you on Google Workspace. Check out our video description to find out why this may be right for you. But right now, click Next, create your first spreadsheet. Here you will find some basic education to help get you started, but it's very generic. I don't see this as very helpful, and again, not the first tool I would start with. But stick around because the final two help menu options will save you days of time as you integrate their features. Before we get to those, you may want to know what Google is working on improving Sheets this year. So, how do I learn what is new in Google Sheets? To discover what's new in Google Sheets, the help menu is a great place to start. Here you will find a section called Updates. By clicking on this, you'll be directed to a list of the most recent updates and changes made to Google Sheets. This section is updated as improvements are launched and highlights new features, enhancements, and bug fixes. It's a convenient way to stay informed about new tools or programming, as Google provides brief descriptions of each update and includes links to tutorials or more detailed documentation. Whether it's a new function, chart type, or performance boost, the Updates section ensures you can quickly learn about and adopt any new features that can improve your Google Sheets experience. Reviewing this section once a year may also give you more ideas to integrate into your own Google Sheets and give you leading-edge productivity tools. But with over 500 functions already in Google Sheets, you may want to know, how do I find the list of available functions in Google Sheets? Do you ever wonder what is possible in Google Sheets? Critical to any spreadsheet software is the number of functions to do calculations from simple to complex. To find the full list of productivity improving functions in Google Sheets, simply click Help at the top of your screen and click Function List into the search bar. This will pull up the complete list of functions from Google organized by categories like math, text, and logical. Use the search box to focus your selection or browse the whole list. This resource not only lists the functions, but also explains what each one does and provides the syntax to show how to use them, which is perfect for learning new formulas. Let's check out a simple one and search for a function to add numbers together. Let's put in a common word for adding numbers. Add. Here you can see the first two are related to addresses, but the third option is add. Reading here, the add function returns the sum of two numbers, equivalent to the plus operator, but it is very limited. If you didn't read this properly, you wouldn't know that this function can really only add two numbers. What you really want is the more powerful sum function. Let's type sum in filter and you'll get about 2 pages of results. But if you scroll down, you will notice sum will return the sum of a series of numbers and/or cells, and this function has a lot more versatility. But do you need more Google Sheets help than Google offers? like an understanding of the vocabulary and application to real-life calculations and schedules. Subscribe now to make Google Sheets a better tool for you. Let's continue with the answer to, how do I find keyboard shortcuts in Google Sheets? The Keyboard Shortcuts option lists every shortcut available in Google Sheets, helping you save time and work more efficiently. For example, you can learn shortcuts for common tasks like selecting rows, adding filters, or even quickly inserting the current date. If you're a power user or want to become one, mastering these shortcuts can make a huge difference in your productivity and workflow. Bonus, you can also search within the Shortcuts menu to find exactly what you need. The best part of these shortcuts is that once you learn them, they will save you hours of time. For example, the first shortcuts, copy and cut, along with paste, save me hours. So here you can see copy is Control-C, cut is Control plus the X key. Copy, Control-C, will make a copy of the cell or range you have selected, where cut, Control-X, will cut the cell or range. Now let's search for paste. Here it is Control plus V. When you activate another cell and use paste, Control plus V. After copy, you will get a duplicate of the cell or range you copied. But if you use paste with cut, you will move the cell or range you cut to the new location.
Most of what we do on a daily basis is routine, like our morning coffee. You don't even think about it because it just is. This is the same with how you use Google Sheets. But what you don't know is by starting routine and staying with what you know, you're missing out on being more efficient, more productive, and escaping the Google Sheets beginner rut. Here are 6 questions you should be asking to escape your Google Sheets habit and go next level. I see this one all the time with my coworkers. Beginners don't use shortcut keys. So, what are the shortcuts in Google Sheets? Shortcut keys are essential for quick navigation and task execution. Basic editing tasks like copy, cut, paste values, undo, and redo are also much faster with shortcuts. Formatting shortcuts like Control-B for bold, Control-I for italic, and Control-U for underline, and alignment shortcuts Control plus Shift L, E, and R streamline the process of making your data presentable. Let's try some of these right now. If I Control-C and Control-V, I can copy and paste. If I Control-X and Control-V, I can cut and paste. Undo, Control-Z will remove and return the cut. If I undo again, it will remove the copy of Control-C. Control-Y will redo and put them back. If I want to bold, I can Control-B. If I want to do italics, I can Control-I. And if I want to underline, I can Control-U. Now, with the left alignment, center alignment, and right alignment, I can do Control-Shift-E to center, Control-Shift-R to move to the right, or I could Control-Shift-L to align to the left. Another question you should ask is, what does right-click do in Google Sheets? Avoiding the right-click menu is a habit that can keep you at a beginner level in Google Sheets. The right-click menu provides a quick and efficient way to access many essential functions without navigating through multiple tabs and menus above. Let's create a new sheet and title this right-click. And I'm going to copy and paste some revenue numbers over. And now I've got revenue for January through July for different revenue streams in a YouTube creator business. For example, right-clicking on a cell or a range of cells brings up options for cut, copy, and paste, allowing for fast data manipulation. You can also quickly insert or delete rows and columns, which is much faster than using the top menu. Additionally, the right-click menu allows you to insert comments or notes, enhancing collaboration and making it easier to keep track of changes and discussions within the sheet. By not utilizing the right-click menu, you miss out on a streamlined workflow that can save significant time and effort. Incorporating the use of right-click into your daily routine can help you navigate and perform tasks more efficiently, moving you from a beginner to an intermediate or advanced user in Google Sheets. Let's use some of these now. So say I want to add a row between training and consulting. I can highlight the row here with left click and then right click and insert one row above or one row below. So I'm going to insert one row above and it will put this here. Maybe I'll title this Workshops. Let's right-click again on the sponsorships and highlight those cells B12 to H12. Right-click, and I'm going to copy those, and I'm going to use the paste special values to just paste those numbers in. The other thing I could do is I could put a note here, or let's put a comment, and let's just say added for new revenue stream. And now I have a note, again, using the right-click menu. Can I use XLOOKUP in Google Sheets? Using VLOOKUP is so 2019, and beginners in Google Sheets still use it. Do you even know what VLOOKUP is? Don't worry, it doesn't matter anymore. XLOOKUP is considered a more versatile and advanced alternative. This function is particularly useful for tasks like merging data from different sheets or tables based on a common identifier. But VLOOKUP has limitations, such as only being able to search from left to right and requiring the exact match of the lookup value. In contrast, XLOOKUP offers enhanced flexibility by allowing searches in both vertical and horizontal directions, supporting approximate matches by default, and enabling the use of arrays for multiple results. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. XLOOKUP is more efficient for complex data lookup tasks. As a beginner, transitioning to XLOOKUP will help get you to next level when grabbing ranges of data. So let's see how that is in practice. I'm going to add a sheet, and we'll title it XLOOKUP. Okay. I'm going to take this column here, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. And what I want to do is create an XLOOKUP to grab February. So how I will make that work is equal XLOOKUP, and the search key is going to pick A5. The lookup range is going to go back to the right-click sheet, and I am going to work that range. I'm going to hit F4 for the relative cell referencing to make sure that range doesn't move. And then my result range is going to be February column. I'm going to hit F4 for relative cell referencing again and close parentheses. So now you can see February showed up. If I copy and paste that down, I will get the dollar amounts for February and even the total. So what you will see is when I go back to right click, these numbers are now here. If I wanted to change this, there's more efficient ways to do it. But if I wanted to go to March, I could just change this C to D and this C to D and copy and paste it down. So that is one of the ways to use XLOOKUP. But, you know, as we're working here, a lot of Google Sheets and displaying presentations requires good formatting. So how do I format cells in Google Sheets? Not using formatting in Google Sheets is a habit that can keep you at a beginner level because proper formatting is crucial for readability, data interpretation, and professional presentation. I've purposefully chosen not to format so far, but with Google Sheets, you're telling a story. Formatting is crucial to convey the story you want to tell. Formatting includes a wide range of techniques such as adjusting font styles, sizes, and colors, applying cell borders, and using number formats to display data appropriately. For instance, bolding headers and using different colors for data categories can guide your readers with proper emphasis. Using number formats such as currency, percentages, or dates ensures that your data is presented consistently and professionally. For instance, bolding headers and using different colors for data categories can guide your readers with proper emphasis. Using number formats such as currency, percentages, or dates ensures that your data is presented consistently and professionally. See here, it is way easier to read a number with commas than a number that isn't formatted. Can you paste special in Google Sheets? Not using the paste special function in Google Sheets is a habit that can keep you at a beginner level because paste special offers a range of powerful options for manipulating data. Beyond the basic copy and paste, paste special allows you to paste specific elements of the copied content, such as values, formulas, formats, or data validation rules, rather than everything from the source itself. For instance, using paste special, like I've already done in this video, to paste only values is incredibly useful when you want to convert formulas to static data, ensuring that the values remain constant even if the source data changes. Additionally, paste special options like transpose can switch rows to columns or vice versa, making it easier to reorganize data layouts. Another useful feature is paste formula only, which copies formulas without changing the existing formatting, ensuring consistency across your sheets. By not utilizing paste special, you may spend extra time manually adjusting data or formatting, which can be prone to errors and inefficiencies. So let's see that here. Say I want to copy this and I want to transpose it. So I want row descriptions on top and the months on the left. I can create a new sheet and I can paste special transpose. And now you can see that my row descriptions are now columns and my months are now rows. And over here, you can see the totals have come in appropriately and sum correctly. Now what I can do is I can add a sum and see what my totals are by category. And again, for formatting, what I would recommend is make your sheet look good. Use borders, use underlines, use alignment to make your reports really tell a good story so that you can not only look good to yourself, but also look good to others that are reading these reports. To learn more about Google Sheets, watch this video next.